my...
Just gonna send it!
You're ready for this.
Just gonna send it!
Look at that beautiful, beautiful bird.
Here we go. Jim Fannon Show pop-up. PRIMO is in the house. We're going to get to him in a second, but Trudeau was run out of Welland today. I have the video evidence to prove it. It's the Jim Fannon Show. PRIMO, thanks for taking the time today, brother. And I wanted to give you some props because, man, you are one. Where'd you go? You are one of the big voices out there, man. Where's my guest? Where's my? You just say he left. He left his camera. He left his camera on. He went to sleep. PRIMO.
I'm back. I
Kikatsufai, huh? What the fuck, man? You know, it's good to be back in Welland because I went to school just down the street, and I had an interview with Chad today. I thought he was in Vancouver or some shit. I didn't know he was a Welland boy. I should have known, man. All my Welland boys are kind of like the Italian French cross, a lot of them, like my buddy Saint Chalaise, he's a Confed guy. The guy started talking to me about Confed today. I'm like, oh, my bad boys went to Confed. You know, I shouldn't probably say his name on the air. Dude, tell us a little bit about what went down today. You know, I am a reluctant, not a reluctant supporter, I'm a reluctant protester. And I kind of feel like maybe I'm just an observer. I'm a documenter. I'm taking video. I'm not really part of your clan. I'm not chanting. I'm not, laying down in front of the bus to stop Trudeau from leaving Atlas Steel today. But, dude, tell me a little bit about how this thing got started, your role in it, and kind of how you felt. Like, I feel like I was kind of bummed because I wanted the perfect sound bite. You know, the video clip of the bus being halted with 500 people around it yelling insults at Justin Trudeau. It's fine that it didn't go down that way because when he left the hotel at 10:30, 11 o'clock or whatever time it was, I don't think the mob knew that it was him leaving in the SUV because everyone was already over at the old Atlas Steel building. And so, but he was in that SUV, the one that went on the way out, and some guy in the megaphone was going, Justin, where's Sophie? Where's Sophie? It was just perfect timing, and I love that back. I'm like, you don't wish, a man's marriage to fall apart, but she's been missing for a couple years. It's obvious that they're not together. So I was happy that when he left the hotel, there was maybe I'm overestimating because I'm not good with crowds, 300-400 people at least on the lawn, peacefully assembling, not blocking traffic, not doing anything other than just yelling freedom and the occasional insult. When I listened to him live broadcasting when we got over to the old Atlas Steel building, he was calling all the protesters angry anti-vaxxers. That's how he thinks of a guy like, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I've been vaccinated as a child. I'm going to take my chances with COVID. I'm not taking the shot. Anyway, I'm blathering. I appreciate your time. How did you see things go down? Because originally I was bummed out, but I'm then, you know what? He got to see the critical mass of people, even though he managed to get out of there and there was only about 100 people left. There was, 3 or 4 before that. So your take on things today, bro?
Well, here's the thing. They always they always like to throw these are a bunch of angry anti-vaxxers and a bunch of angry anti-maskers. And why they do that is because they want to discredit everyone's hard work. Because, hey, let's talk about a Monday morning on a holiday. And, I would say between all the places we went to, there were people in the one entrance. After we left the Best Western and we went to ASW Steel, you've seen where I was. I realized when I was leaving, there was people at the other entrances blocking it off down the road along the cage fence there, just waiting to try and get a peek at them and say their word. And there were people around that whole building. An honest, fair guess, I would say that there was probably 1,000 people between the two places. That's what I would assume. And once again, I'm not the best at
right.
with those numbers either, guessing numbers, but that's what I'd have to guess. And there were people from all over the place. A lot of people from Welland, a lot of support from people who are involved with PPC, and it was good to see because I go for my morning drive for a coffee, and I still see Liberal signs in Welland, and it blows my mind how anybody can be okay with the Liberal Party right now and what's gone on in the last few years here. And I guess today showed that they're very few in numbers.
Yeah, what's your take on, I know you don't have an official capacity with the PPC, either do I for that matter, and it's not being promoted by the party, but the local candidate, Peter Taras, sent out a memo today saying, assemble. I saw the last video of Trudeau getting heckled, and there was a lot of PPC signs there, and I was kind of weighing out, okay, how am I feeling about this? Because I want the PPC to be more mainstream and get some more pub, and I guess that's fine. There's no such thing as bad pub, but it seems like these protests seem to be almost shaping up like PPC. That's dude, there's more PPC signs than there was no Liberal supporters there at all today. Okay,
there was not one. There wasn't one of them.
And what's your thoughts on, the fact that the PPC seems to be reaching some sort of critical mass under protesting Trudeau? Do you have any reservations about the, aligning themselves with that ideology?
Well, you know what? The PPC actually got a newfound respect from me today, showing up there today and firing out an email that I got from them last night. I mean, I already knew this was going down yesterday, in the afternoon. I just didn't tell anybody. I had somebody who let me know. And I was going to be there no matter what. I just wanted to put out the message at the right time because I figured if I put it out too early and Trudeau's team and Vance Badaway and all them got a hold of it, that they were going to do a decoy and he wouldn't be there. So I wanted to put it out at the right time. But for the PPC to show up in the numbers they did today and with all the support they did, I was actually very impressed because I don't think most political parties would do what they did today. That was a little bit intense. And I think people are sick of what most political parties would do. And they need this real freedom toting party to be there for them,
Okay, tell us a little bit about how you got started in this. And by the way, nice job with Rebel News the other day. I thought they did a pretty nice piece with you. You're so mild-mannered. I know you probably have an aggressive side to you like we all do, but you really come off, it's like me today there. You're amongst so many people, strangers, most of them. And if you approach me with kindness, what do you think? You're going to get an asshole? I'm pretty approachable, even to the strangers, you know what I mean? So tell us a little bit about how you got involved in this. And, I want to say I really appreciate the way you connect with people in a humble way. Yeah, you are the guy that riles them up at the microphone and gets them all wound up and chanting. That's certainly not my area of expertise, so I appreciate a guy like that. But I think you have this humility and this connectedness this availability that really resonates. So thank you for that. But how'd you get hooked up on this? And have you been a political protester your whole life, or you just get swept up in the whole lockdown issue?
No, I got swept up in the whole lockdown issue, man. I've always been open about some mental health struggles and some alcohol addiction in my life. And when this first lockdown hit, I was clean for, like, I was sober, not drinking for about a year. And all of a sudden, everything around me closes except for the alcohol store, including my in-person meetings that I went to. So, like, all my supports and resources that help keep me on track, they close on me. I go to the gym to, for mindfulness, and the gym closes on me. So they literally took everything away from me that I need to succeed and not use alcohol. And they left me with money in my bank account and the LCBO open. So what do you think happened? I ended up drinking, right? And it didn't last that long, thankfully. But I really realized that I needed to start exercising and whatnot outside and finding my own ways around that. And then I started following, like, Cullen and Sandor and Alicia and seeing what's going on. And, like, I started kind of getting an open mind and started learning about things and educating myself. And I finally had enough. And then to see Alicia be slandered the way she was, and Cullen, and the way mainstream media was making these people out to be when I knew them, and in fact they're some of the, like, most beautiful people I know, I just couldn't get behind it. I was really upset. And then, when everything happened with Shandor there, and seeing him get conditions, and then he goes up and gives this powerful speech.
And he's not a speaker. Like, self-admittedly, he's not a public speaker. Like, he's done it, but it's not his strong suit.
It's funny. Me and him were just talking about this the other day. He's not a speaker, but he's, like, one of the best speakers that I've seen at any protest, and I go to all of them all over Ontario. So he's not a speaker, but he's a speaker, if that makes sense.
That's all I do is speak. But when you get me up in front of a rally crowd, you get me up in front of a wedding, I can MC it, I can introduce the guests and stuff like that. You get me in front of a rally crowd and my mic kind of doesn't go right and people are screaming, "We can't hear you." I bail. I pull the eject lever, dude. I'm so gone.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, for sure,
I appreciate
just that one day when Shandor just jumped up there and he wasn't supposed to speak through a megaphone and he wasn't going to be silenced. And he said, "Here I am. I'm not supposed to speak through a megaphone, and I'm speaking through a megaphone. And I'm not supposed to talk to Cullen. Hi, Cullen." He just showed me, like, this guy's way too brave. I got to stop being a coward and sit in the back seat. I'm sharing all these posts and I'm getting in on all this stuff. I might as well just go out there and be loud, because I can be loud. So why not do it?
Well, I appreciate that. Woody's in the house. My YouTube is blowing up because I put a couple of clips up today that are catching fire. So that's great.
Yeah.
I caught fire on TikTok a little while ago. Tell me how you're handling the social media game. I'm on my 7th YouTube channel. Dude, I went from 330 to 530 today, so I gained a couple hundred subs just today. And it's clean. I've got my 4,000 watch hours. I could be monetized as soon as I get to 100 or 1,000 subs. The first one was paying me $1,500 a month. Like, I was doing okay. Yeah. I had 1.5 million views a month, so it was paying me $1,500. And so I just want to know. I know you started out. You have had some success at it. How are you treating your social media, and what do you find that's taken off for you?
That's a hard question. Like, when I ended up hooking up with Chris a couple weeks ago, and we kind of started, like, blossom this new friendship. And, when I got involved with all this stuff, I never really aligned myself with anybody, with any groups. And I always liked his message. And then we kind of hooked up and did some talking and planned Niagara. And he started, sharing some posts of mine, and then, like, I think one day he mentioned me in something on his story or whatever, and then, like, all of a sudden I noticed my Instagram and that it was like people are adding you and adding you and adding you and adding you. And believe it or not, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, you're probably like some crazy attention whore. And I actually had like my Facebook and my Instagram and all that stuff on private up
really?
until just about, I want to say maybe a month ago. And then I said, you know what?
Really?
Maybe it was a little longer, maybe a couple months, Jim. I'm not too sure exactly.
Well, you're
but
just
I finally
a private guy by nature.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, you know what? When all this COVID stuff happened, 3/4 of the people on my list, they weren't happy with what I was doing, right? So it was like I would put something out there, and I think I'm doing the right thing, and then I have all these people coming at me all the time, and it was getting mentally exhausting. And you know, this kind of stuff's dividing friends, dividing families. It's just ridiculous.
Welcome to my world, brother. It's difficult. It's not difficult. It is difficult to stand your ground, to say your piece, to speak truth, because you will be punished. Now, I've been self-employed for a long time. I haven't traded, I still trade in real estate if I need to, but I haven't traded seriously since they canceled me last year. Before you knew me, I was the target of Grant LaFleche, Laura Yip's boyfriend type of thing. And they ran their fake news on me, front and center. Now, I was guilty of what they charged me for, but they certainly took it out of context. They certainly didn't talk about my frustration of speaking about a woman that's an atheist tweeting out Jesus fucking Christ. So all I did was called her a DFC. Like, who do you think built society? Western cultures based on Christian values. What's your fucking problem with them? So after I took hate mail for so long, it really does get you down, and it's tough. Like, I'm comedy. Like, come on. Who's taking me seriously when I'm in that mood and joking in that way? Yeah, I talk about some serious stuff, but mostly I'm mocking it. I'm talking about local politicians, and I'm not kind all the time. So it's difficult to speak your mind and to stand up. I get the cancel culture thing. I get the loss of friends. I get the division within our own family. And it's painful. And I said to some of my friends, and I'll include you in this group of people, when you put people like you and me and Shandor and Alicia and McDonald and everyone else that was served summonses or tickets or charged with offenses for breaking this lockdown thing, you bring the worst out in them. When you constantly badger, I can take the badgering on social media, but when the fake news comes out, when you're made unemployable by your vaccine status, your free speech, your filthy mouth, I own it all. I'm not saying, oh, I got poor me, but it takes a lot of balls to stand up there. So tell us a little bit. Such a monologue. I invite you, poor guy, on the show, and then I don't let him talk. Tell us about some of the costs that you've paid for being, being a man, being an alpha, being a leader in your community. Not afraid to say this to everyone and talk about, the science. Really. Did
you hear what I said today? That was the only reason I said I went there today.
What's that?
Am I allowed to swear?
No, you can swear, yeah.
I grabbed my microphone and I pointed it at the door when the door opened to Trudeau. And I said, you know what, Trudeau, I want you to know something. The only reason I'm here today is because my 2-year-old's off in the background, or not my 2-year-old, that's a little young. Sorry, my daughter's off in the background over there.
I did hear that.
And I said to him, I said, I want to show her what I want to say to a man who's fucked with my daughter's head for 2 years now.
Wow.
And that was a very powerful moment for me, and that was something that was therapeutic for me. It's something I needed to get off my chest to him, because what he has done to these children is nothing less than criminal. It's disgusting. Taking these kids, taking their structure away from them, taking them in school, out of school, can't be around their friends, put masks off, sit in a little circle, walk 6 feet away, wash your hands. It's disgusting. A lot of people don't know this about me. I'm actually an educational assistant. I wanted to go back to work for the school board this year. I can't do it. My morals are more important to me than my job, man. I can't be telling kids, oh, you can't hug your little friend Tommy over there, or you can't give him a high five. I can't do it, man. I know how important human connection is and how these kids communicate with each other. And I can't take the plunge, man. I'm not a sellout. I can't do something I don't believe in for money.
You know, you hit on a really great point there. You know, the suicides, the alcohol abuse. I'm an abuser. I'm not a daily. Well, I smoke weed on the daily, but I mean, weed. Like, I can't drink on the daily. I can't have two drinks at lunch and then function for the rest of the day, even if I quit, because I get a migraine by 6 o'clock. So I've toned my drinking way back. You know, I don't get hungover. I don't get all the effects from weed that I do from alcohol, but I've found that I'm more prone to, you were talking about slipping, I'm more prone to abusing now, where you have a couple drinks and you're like, and then you got 10 in you, beer or whatever. And I didn't, like, this last 18 months, 2 years, I've been more prone, like, I can't even do that 3 times a week, not even twice, maybe once a week, maybe twice a month, where I have too many drinks, and then I'm ruined for 3 days. But I think this is getting lost in all of this, is the mental stress and the isolation that's been put on people, and how, and you talk about not bringing out the best in people. Man, this is the, idle hands of the devil's tools. You put someone in isolation like that, what the hell do you think they're going to do? If they have any vices at all, any crutches that they use to get through life, whether it be pills, and we've got a huge epidemic with opioids, Chinese fentanyl is coming across probably the southern American border easier than anywhere else, but it's coming into Canada too, directly, and some containers or however it's getting in here, killing our children, addicting our population. I go downtown, I'm shocked. Tent cities, syringes everywhere, homeless guys walking around just blurting out, like, obviously people that are suffering from mental illness. But talk to me about how you see the impact of isolation, lockdowns on the human psyche, and the proclivity of people to kind of weaken and just pick up their vices and say, oh, fuck it, I don't care, I can't do anything about this, I'm black-pilled.
Man, so, like, let's just call this a Welland hat trick. Like, we got to have a little bit of a joke to it. But yesterday I went to Tim Hortons, and it's terrible, but I went to Tim Hortons. There's a gentleman outside who's homeless, somebody that I know, I frequent, and he's strung out on some stuff and he's having a hard time. And I said, I'll get you a coffee and I'll be right out and we'll have a coffee together. That's just what I do. It makes me feel good. I do it for 5-10 minutes. I take off. It works. I go inside. There's another lady that's pretty well known in Welland, and she's screaming at the top of her lungs at the lady at Tim Hortons. She's going to strip naked if they don't give her a Boston cream donut. So I'm like,
I've never tried that one before.
Yeah,
it probably worked though.
So I go, give so-and-so a donut, I'll pay for it, whatever. And, I didn't really have much time to stick around yesterday. So I go to leave, and when I'm pulling out of the parking lot, there's a homeless guy sitting on the ground, and he looks like he's sleeping. I go, buddy, are you okay? Are you okay, buddy? Are you okay? No response. I get out of the car. Are you okay? Nothing. Roll him over, eyes in the back of the head. Boom, had to hit him with the Narcan. Man, I go to Tim Hortons to get a coffee, and I see three people who are homeless, struggling, fucked up on drugs, and I got to hit the one guy with Narcan on the way home. Jeez. And then I got to go home and listen to the news talk about fucking COVID-19, man, when we got all this going on that's getting ignored and neglected in the city.
This is the great distraction. This is the distraction. I see it happening in the States too. It's look over here so you don't see what's going on over here. It's nothing but the politics of distraction. And now with the election here, what do you expect? This is the great distraction.
Yeah, there's all kinds of distractions with this,
Yeah, and it takes away from all the real issues, like the drug addiction, like the opioids, like weak immigration laws, the security at our borders as far as drugs coming in and stuff like this. Like, I mean, oh man, I don't know how you're staying positive, Rob. I know you have your days where you're probably blackpilling like I am. You know, for those that don't know, you know, I came from the left. I've got 10 elections under my belt as a lefty Green Party guy before they went completely wacko. My last election was 2015 with them. Now, you know, I got red pilled, so, you know, in the Matrix, you know, here's the blue pill. You can stay asleep and stay in the fantasy, or you can take the red pill. You'll know the truth, you know, and,
right.
then you can deal with it appropriately. The problem is when you know the truth for too long, you become suicidal and helpless and unable to believe that you can beat the machine, and the black pilling is that hopelessness. And, you know, I try to take the clown pill and just laugh about everything because I think that's the next natural progression, is you can't take anything seriously. You can't get hopeless. You can't say there's no hope. I got hope in this election. I got hope for a purple wave. Dude, I've never seen this type of political momentum my whole life. Now, I'm no expert, but I have been in 10 campaigns, you know, including leadership of the Green Party of Canada in 2006. You know, that was an inside job, but I've never seen anything like this. And I've always been the little guy. I've always been the guy that knew the answer to, I got to vote strategically. That's a loser vote. Tell me how you're feeling. Can you rest your hope like I am right now, or do you have other hope that this purple wave is coming? They might not form government, but they're going to make a dent, and they're going to surprise a lot of people, man.
I think they're going to make a dent. I think they need to keep doing things like they did today, because this party's been silenced. As much as we hear about them because we support them and we're for them, you know, you can't get them up on TV or anything because you need, 5% of the vote last year or something to get on there?
Yeah, an elected member of the House is one of them. I think 5% might be the other one, too. Yeah. And that's why I wish, you know, I've talked a lot about this, and I know this might be outside your scope unless you're a political science major. I think that Maxime Bernier's missing an opportune chance to distance himself and you know, stick out from the crowd by getting on proportional representation, which means you get 15% of the vote, which the PPC could do this election. And if the PPC gets 10 to 15% of the vote and they elect one member in max, that 15%, those millions of people that voted for PPC have zero representation. Justin Trudeau won the minority government, which operated like a majority government via the Bloc and the NDP by just selling the House away and giving them whatever they wanted. With, you know, you can get you know, Stephen Harper's majority government was 37%. That's 63%. That's the majority of the people voted against him. We're under proportional, that's called first past the post. Under proportional representation, if the Green Party gets 5% of the vote, they get 5% of the seats. And then, you have more coalition governments, but I think Max is missing an opportunity here because the NDP and the Greens will talk about proportional representation, but if they're ever in power, they'll never do anything about it. So I don't know if you've spoken about this, or do you see... You know, for me, I'm looking at a national campaign, and I'm going, why aren't you talking about this? It's wide open. You can own the whole space. You got any frustrations with the communication at the national level of the PPC?
Yeah, I don't know, man. He even said something the other day I didn't like. I mean, it's kind of obvious, but he even admitted, I don't know if you've seen it. He's like, we're not going to win this election. He's like, I'm a realist. Yeah. And I thought, like, man, I don't know if you should say that. Like, I know... I get it. You're not going to win this election, but I think you keep on going with the attitude that you can, so you bring in all those votes, and you don't, you know, detour people from votes, because everyone's worried about vote splitting.
Rob, sorry to interrupt. You make a great point, because what is winning? All those elections that I ran as a Green Party member, and I got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think 6% was my highest or whatever. I wasn't elected. Is that a loss, or is that a win because I spoke truth, debated the candidates with good faith, and turn some people onto the party. So, Mac, you're right. Max shouldn't be talking about we're going to lose this election. I'm not sure that he's put it that way. I get it. He's being a realist, but it depends how you measure wins and losses. If it's going to be a win no matter what, because 10 times the amount of people are going to vote PPC this time around than did last time. That's a prediction. Mark it.
Yeah.
And I think Max has done a pretty good job. I know he can't afford to have the best people around him all the time, so he's got a staff that requires a budget. And so I'm a little frustrated by some of his communication, but for the most part, man, I can only hang my hat on the hope that, the wave is never predicted. When it happened to NDP provincially, Bob Ray was like a deer in the headlights. He couldn't even believe he won. Yeah. And so I think Maxime Bernier wins regardless this time around by virtue of how he placed last time. But he might actually get 10, 15% of the vote. That's a stretch, but I think that's completely possible. You remember that girl in Quebec that went to Vegas for the election, and then she got elected? And she was like, I wasn't even in my riding the whole time. I've been in Vegas with my daughter, blah, blah, blah. She came back. She didn't have a clue what she was doing. And that's how I talked to my local candidate, and I'm like, dude, you imagine you could be elected. You could be in Ottawa. So I kind of hang my hat on stranger things have happened. The wave that goes across the country is never predicted. And I don't want to set myself up for failure, a big letdown. But right now, that keeps me going most days. It's just my hope that maybe the electorate wakes up this time around, because we've never put people under 18 months of house arrest and then led them to the polls. Let's hope they do something drastic.
Let's hope so. One thing I realized today is that Justin Trudeau is not a very liked man in Canada right now, and I think that suits him well. It seems like any big situation he has to deal with, he just deflects it to like provincial government or whatnot. It's like these these passports, offering $1 billion incentive for provinces to implement them. Like, come on, dude.
Brother, I really appreciate your time. Just on the way out, anything you want to do to promote how people get a hold of you? You got a fund we can donate to? How do we fucking get some more ink on your body, dude? Like, come on.
You're awesome. So if you guys just want to send me a couple grand, that's cool. No. If you want to add me on Facebook, go nuts. My name's Rob PRIMO, ROB, and then PRIMO. My Facebook account is just 100% dedicated to this fight right now. So you're going to find out about calls to action, things that are going on from here, anywhere around Ontario. You're going to see it on there. My Instagram is @TheRobPrimo. You're welcome to go on there as well too. I'm pretty active on both of those, and you're welcome to join along. And I also want to mention this Saturday at Montebello Park, 1 o'clock to 3 p.m. there will be a peaceful protest, and this is very inclusive, unlike Mr. Trudeau's segregated two-tier society. We would love to have people who are vaccinated, unvaccinated, want to wear a mask, don't want to wear a mask, want to bring their kids, don't want to bring your kids. You're all welcome. This is Canada, after all.
Queen Herder is in the house. We got some comments on... it's nice to get some comments again on YouTube, because I've been, so frustrated with my banning on my 7th channel, whatever. She left his dumb ass. No mask for me on YouTube. The Truth on YouTube. What up? Mike Callaghan. Oh, I can't read all this stuff. But Rob, I really appreciate your time, especially coming on short notice. I appreciate what you do and getting this thing going, because I know the price that you're paying. It's It's not simple, man. It's never anything but severely complicated. So thanks for putting yourself out there. I'm proud of you getting on Rebel. That's cool. That's you and Shandor and Alicia.
Yeah.
Where Colin, come on, you got a connection down there. Let's hook a couple brothers up.
Yeah, exactly.
I appreciate all you do, and today was great. I think, it wasn't exactly as we all expected, but it was a win. When he drove out of that comfort inn, man,
I'll tell you what, man, I did not expect that amount of people to be there at all. And I'm telling you, I thought I was going to show up there today, no word of a lie, with 20 people. That's what I thought was going to be there.
That's the way I always go into these things too. And when I wedged my way into the protest and I thought, well, maybe I'll just introduce you. I was. Oh man, I don't know. My brain just farted. Anyways, I love you, brother. We'll talk
I love you
soon.
too, man.
Thanks for taking the time today, and I appreciate all the work that you do. And we'll be in touch soon. Let's do a longer segment.
Yeah, we'll do. I was just gonna say we can get together and have a blast and do a nice big long one day. Pull up the Facebook accounts and all that. We got more time.
Shandor's been in the house Thursdays around noon, and so last Thursday we went live around 2. So I've got a little bit more accommodations as far as mics goes, and we can do a wide angle in here. So if you guys want to get in, we can have a big bro session. Anyways, I love you,
That would be fun, yeah. Right. I love Shandor. All right, love you too, brother.
All right, peace out.
Okay, ciao.
That's PRIMO if you need them. Not bad. I appreciate that. Find them on the fake book right here. You can see the URL in the title. Here's the handoff. This is today inside the plant, which used to be the old Atlas Steel. Clutterbuck owns it now. Somebody told me it's son of the hockey player Clutterbuck. I don't know. I don't really care. I wish no harm on the business that hosted this ridiculous event, but excuse me. Check out this awkward handoff. Okay, mask up. Gonna bump elbows. What a fucking clown. You know what this clown called the protesters all day? Angry anti-vaxxers. Dude, I'm not anti-vax. I have vaccinations. I took them as a child. Not under, my own choice. But yeah, I got the scar on my shoulder. What was that? Some sort of vaccination for rubella, mumps, and measles? Yeah, I didn't contract those things. But this thing, I'm taking my chances with. And you, tyrannical dictator, are going to put us under vaccine passports, which once you tweak the back end, your vaccine passport will become a social credit score. You know what that is. That's what they use in China. And if you dissent, if you talk shit about the government, your social credit score will go down so that your interest rate on your cards goes up. You're not allowed to get an Uber. You won't be able to get a taxi, an Uber. You can't get DoorDash, delivery, food, nothing. You're done. You're not part of the current society based on your social credit score and how you feel about current issues. Man, I am not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm worried. If this clown gets elected and you don't vote PPC, don't forget about, you know what? Splitting the vote is bullshit. Splitting the vote is what the old line parties use all the time to keep you home, to keep you from voting. You go into the booth and vote conservative and hold your nose, you're going to feel like dog shit when you leave the booth. And if everyone voted for the party they didn't want in there that had the best chance to beat the party that's in there right now, you'd still end up with a garbage government. Don't fall for the script, that a vote for the Greens or a vote for the PPC is 5 votes for Trudeau. It's horse shit. Go in, vote your heart, and you'll feel good. Voting for the lesser of two evils still gets evil elected. Do you get it? Let's listen to Trudeau.
I want to take a moment, first off, to thank the folks here behind me today for their hard work and folks like them right across the country. I want to specifically single out Doug, who's the head of Unifor here, who I had a great chat with earlier and with his kids. The reality is that over the past 6 years, we have worked incredibly closely with labor unions around the country, first to reverse the anti-union measures that the last Conservative government brought in. People in the labor movement will remember 525 and 377 that Erin O'Toole voted for, but worked with them mostly to get Canada's economy back on track, with good jobs for the middle class, with ambition for the future, including on innovation and fighting climate change. So it's a real pleasure to be here for Labor Day with all of them, focused on their future and their family's future. It's also great to be here with Vance, Chrystia, and our outstanding Liberal candidates for the Niagara area.
Chrystia. You know,
Chris, Andrea.
Hang on. How long do you think it is before he starts to lose his cool, go off script, and start to get angry? I'm not sure how long it takes, but this video is an hour long.
And Ian. My friends, Canada has celebrated a lot of Labor Day weekends in our history. But I don't know if there has ever been a time when workers have done more for this country. Whether you're a grocery store employee who's kept our plates full, or a steel worker who's kept our economy going strong. In the last 18 months, you've rolled up your sleeves and done your part. And you reminded us that we are always stronger together. And I couldn't agree more. In 2020, when this pandemic hit, we rolled out the wage subsidy so people here at ASW Steel and across the country could stay on the job. In 2017, when the US threatened to tear up NAFTA, we fought for a good deal for Canadian workers, even as the Conservatives wanted Canada to give up. And then, when the Americans imposed steel tariffs, we hit back dollar for dollar. And that's why Donald Trump stood down.
What? Okay, so I'm completely killing time here. I'm going to use the facilities and we'll come back and we'll get into the meat of this meathead in a couple minutes. Did you know that just about every mammal on Earth takes 19 seconds to relieve its bladder? Time this.
But what did Erin O'Toole think of all that? He actually called Canada's retaliatory dollar-for-dollar tariffs dumb policy. Erin O'Toole would have given in to Donald Trump and given up on these Canadians. We knew that wasn't the way forward. Not on steel, and not on anything. Quand Donald Trump a imposé des tarifs sur l'aluminium, on s'est battu jusqu'à ce que ces tarifs soient annulés. Chrystia Freeland pourrait vous en dire bien longuement. Quand il y a des emplois en jeu et des gens à défendre, on se tient debout. Et maintenant, en 2021, on lâche pas. On travaille fort pour en finir avec la COVID. The country, and quite frankly, it's disappointing to us because we'd expected that the NDP would continue to push hard on the fight against climate change. Instead, they seem to have given up. particularly when some people are rating the Conservative plan to fight climate change, which involves going back to Stephen Harper, as better than even the NDP plan that they're putting forward in their platform, which makes no sense, but that's for the NDP to explain. Nous, on va continuer de prendre des mesures concrètes et ambitieuses pour lutter contre les changements climatiques et pour créer des bons emplois. Et surtout, on va en finir avec la pandémie une bonne fois pour toutes.
I'm sorry to have to do this to you. So, today, successful from the standpoint that...
Make them say yes!
Oh, settle down. When Justin Trudeau left the hotel, there was a few hundred people standing out front. And they were all PPC purple, pretty much. There was not one red. So there was one red sweater in the crowd. He had a camera, and he said he wasn't liberal. I believe him. I didn't talk to him myself, but he looked like a liberal to me because he was wearing a mask. The RCMP, all the feds there today, all masked. There was no media at the hotel. Not one. And see, yesterday this broke that there was going to be an event at 10:30 today at the hotel, which evaporated, but maybe that's how they work it. It seemed like they were stringing the protesters along, moving them from place to place, and then they waited until there was 400 or 500 people. 300-400. I don't know how to there was a lot of people. You see my videos. I don't know. We could count them, I guess, from the photo I included. He waited until there was about 100 people at the gate, maybe less than that. We left, it was almost 2 o'clock. I've been there since 9:30 in the morning. I am not a protester. I'm not that guy. It's not in my makeup. But I went down there today because I wanted to get some footage. I wanted to see for myself, what the feel was like outside of a Trudeau rally. There was no supporters. None. They're all protesters. And yes, it's good to get out of the house. And yes, it's good to be assembled with like minds. And yes, you feel like you're united by a common cause. There's an election on right now. How many days until September 20?
It's 14 days.
14 days. 2 weeks. Yeah, it's Monday today. 2 weeks today is election day. Frustrated. But I think the PPC gives me hope. Today gave me hope. You know, it's good to get connected with like minds. So a buddy of mine today, we're talking about a mutual friend, and we're just going to say, yeah, he's double vaxxed. The guy never leaves the house. He's 52 years old. What the hell does he need his double shot for? He's not traveling anywhere. He's not going to theater, restaurants, nothing. He never leaves his property. Nice property. What up, James St. West? Hardcore fuzzy bucket 12 piece? What the? Dude, what is with your guys' names? Twitch, what up? I don't have my glasses on. It's a little far away. Truth. Anyway, a good day today. And, yeah. We didn't get the sound bites exactly that we wanted, but if you see my YouTube's exploding. I checked at 5:22. Let's see what this says now. Fresh shift. Refresh. There you go. 562. I have a clean channel here, guys. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed yet, I ran my original channel up to 6,000 subs and 3 million views in about 3 months. It occurs for me that I'm at the ledge right now. 562. I could be at 1,000 by the end of the day and monetized. Yeah. So hit the subscribe button. Get in on the comments. I couldn't be more pleased with how this is moving as far as... Oh, should I show you the analytics? Damn. 16,000 today already. 16,494. I'll take it. S for me, you're welcome. DJ, what up? Here we go. James St. West. Trew.Tube, another B media thing. Wannabe? Oh, wannabe. Yeah, I'm a wannabe media thing. Yeah, dude. Yeah, this is, yeah, we just do this for fame and money and, you know, to see my name in lights because I'm a narcissist. Yeah, red pilled. 5 years. The black pill comes next. It's not a happy time. The clown pill is after that, and there's nothing that tastes better. 532 notifications. All right, what else have we got? I don't think I got much else for you. I didn't put the links in the show description today. I rushed it. I got PRIMO on the air. That was PRIMO. That was not bad at all. Look for Shandor this Thursday, too. Again, we've been meeting around noon, which means, you know, we eat and have sociables and stuff like that. Usually around 2 o'clock we go live. We did a full hour this week. I think it was pretty informative. I like Shandor. He's educated. He's well-knowledged, and he's a media critic. So you can check us there. And then I skipped my Thursday Night Live last week because I was fucking exhausted, dude. Also, Woody. I ran into Woody today down at the Freedom Celebration, and he said that he voted in advance polls and he had to write the name of the candidate on his ballot. No. See, if this is true, I'm going to go to advance polls to see if this is the truth. I will videotape it behind the curtain. The curtain, because it's just a cardboard box now. I know you're not supposed to do that, but if you, like, here's how you vote in Canada. X beside the name that you're voting for. There's a circle. You put an X inside the circle. That's your vote. Or you can color the circle in. You don't have to write the candidate's name in to vote. Is this for real? Like, dude, this is coming from a good friend of mine that voted in the advance poll and said he had to put it in an envelope, lick it, seal it, put it inside another envelope after they made it was a blank ballot, he said. Can this be real? I'm not calling my boy Woody out. I'm not saying I don't believe you, bro. But I don't believe you, bro. That's exactly what I'm saying. I can't believe. I don't know. Anyways, we're going to go out with some want some because I think that you want some. This is Matt McPherson. I'm proud to include him because, well, he's not afraid of being Jim Fannon adjacent. And me calling him bad words. I'm Jim Fannon. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the subs. Thanks for the love and the traffics and the shares. I am out.
send it.
Homeboys be my like.
I'm getting bored. Stop talking.
Enough haberdashery and flim-flamming.
The she session, the she session, the she session, the she session.